So what can I help you with?
Okay, so my questions, I'm gonna be honest, they're gonna be all over the place.
That's all right.
I am still new to you all software, the Deal Sniper, but I am loving it so far.
Good.
I have one deal right now that I need some help with. I've been speaking to the realtor, and their client does want to close pretty soon, and so I'm actually pretty happy with that too as well. But the questions I have range from like obviously the creative finance deal is a little bit different from what I know or what I'm like used to in just wholesaling in general.
Hmm.
And so when I use the Deal Sniper deal, or do you want me to just go ahead and give you the address to like put in there, or do you want me to just still keep
No,
it?
no. Because this is going on YouTube, you don't want to give me the address, but you can definitely give me the numbers.
You said sorry, what?
I said because this is going to go on YouTube eventually, I don't want to give the address because someone could go behind your back. So
Right,
just
right,
the
yeah.
numbers is fine.
Okay. So
And we can
actually I can
actually
just put it
underwrite
in.
it.
I'll go to the software now and put it in myself. And then yeah, I'll just give you the number. So just 1 second.
Sure.
Um
Do you think? Zena, Tyler, Court, um, Daniela. What's up? I think that's your name. Or Danielle. I can't remember. Sorry. So what we're doing right now is we're going over. Do you prefer Kim or Kimberly?
I like Kimberly.
Okay, we're going over Kimberly's deal. She's just pulling up some information, and we are going to underwrite it. Yeah. No, I was talking to Kimberly.
Yes.
Okay,
Sorry.
that's all right. You're focused. I get it.
Yeah, I'm like a little nervous, but I'm like, no, let me just lock in real fast.
Well, nervous for what?
I don't know because he was like, it's gonna go on YouTube, and I'm just like, oh, okay. I
So what? My channel's
don't
tiny.
know. Okay. So I've pulled up, I put in the address and put everything in. So again, like my question primarily stemmed from when I originally sent the realtor the offer, obviously I clicked no on does it have a mortgage? And
Hmm.
then the purchase price is 384,000.
Okay.
Um and then my assignment fee is about 11,500. I didn't know if I should drop it to 10K or if I should just keep it at like what Deal Sniper said it should be or what they're saying it could be. But I know that typically they're about like 10,000, and I'm okay with that. I'm not trying to like lowball myself or anything like that, but
Yeah,
I
you're
was
referring
okay
to
with
this
it.
part right here.
Sorry.
You're referring to this part right here, the estimated
Yes.
assignment fee. Yeah,
Hmm.
this is just an estimate. You don't have to go by that at all. But let me ask you this: you didn't add that to the letter anywhere, did you?
So I actually did it the first time, right? But for whatever reason, I accidentally typed in her email wrong.
Hmm.
And so I had to go back and type in the right email. So I was actually kind of happy. I don't know, was I not supposed to? Because I ended up, when I did send it to her, like for real, I actually did end up putting that on top of the down payment. But I think that was a green light, right? Like I was supposed to do that, correct? Or
No,
no?
no, because now what you just told them is that their down payment is whatever deal sniper had given them plus your
Hmm.
assignment fee.
Right.
You just gave them all your money.
Uh,
Now, what we would
uh,
have to do is sell it to an investor for even more than what you're about to get it under contract for in order for you to make some money on the deal.
That's tough. And it's so crazy because again, like the first time I didn't put it like right. But I thought I saw a video that said like we were supposed to put that on the down payment. So that's why I was
When
just
you're dealing with the buyer. So there's two different sides
oh,
to
okay.
wholesaling. You got the acquisition side that's getting it under contract, and then
Right.
you have the disposition side, which is selling it to an investor and getting paid.
Yeah.
So, for example, let's say it's a $150,000 property, like this one here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I want a $10,000 assignment. Well, we're getting it under contract from the seller for $150,000 with $10,000 down. But we're selling it to an investor for $160,000 and $20,000 down. That's my
Right.
assignment fee.
Wow.
So
So
what you did was you gave them, instead of giving them a $10,000 assignment fee, you actually gave them your assignment fee. So now we have to sell the deal for $30,000 in order for you to make money.
I mean, well, this is the thing though, Sean. We haven't really put anything like on paper, like contracts. So could I like renege that, or is it too late?
Um, it's it's not too late. I mean, you can always be honest and say, "Hey, look, I miscalculated the down payment. We actually need
Yeah.
to be about here," and just do
Okay.
that sooner rather than later. That way, you
Right.
know if that number is going to work. If that number wasn't going to work, it wasn't going to work the first time you sent it, and if it
True.
doesn't work now, then better find out now than later.
Exactly. For sure. Yeah, I just started speaking to her like maybe 48 hours ago. I think today's Thursday. I think I first came into contact with her on Tuesday.
Hmm.
And like I know her, like I don't know her, but I know her. So I'm, even though it's still like business personal, I know this, but I feel a little bit more comfortable talking to her about like, hey, I kind of just messed up a little bit.
And
But yeah,
if that's the case and that's your relationship, you should let her know sooner rather than later before she
right.
presents it to her sellers.
Exactly. Okay. Um, all right. So just to clarify, I only put the assignment fee on top of the down payment, like after it's under contract and I'm
Yep.
like looking for the buyer. Okay.
Yeah, the real estate agent, the seller, and the buyer should never know what your assignment fee is.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. That makes perfect sense. So that's the first thing that I can say I've learned so far. The second question is going back to like the same, like financial overview. Let's say, for example, when we go back and we click, yes, the property does have a mortgage,
Hmm.
like how, because honestly, I just text her, like I would probably say maybe 30 minutes ago and was like, hey, what's the mortgage balance, monthly payment? And she hasn't responded as of yet. But let's say she responds and the mortgage balance is like, I don't know, 100,000 and the
Hmm.
monthly payment is like $800. Once I know that information, how do I like go about plugging that in? Or like, I mean, I know it comes up with the like stuff on its own. But the Subto, or no quotations, but the Subto deals a little bit different, right, from the creative finance offer. So like, how would I go about approaching her with that?
Well, first off, I wouldn't use Deal Sniper to underwrite a deal if it has a mortgage,
Okay.
because it can either be a subject to or a hybrid, and this Deal Sniper isn't updated yet. We're working on it in the background. It's just, believe it or not, it's way more difficult. But we don't have the system set up. That's why we always pair everything with this, because this can underwrite everything.
Okay.
So when you do get the mortgage information, you need to determine if it's a subject to or a hybrid. And the best way to do that is to look at how much they originally were selling their property for
Hmm.
versus what the mortgage balance is. If those numbers are close, then you can probably get away with negotiating a subject to if the numbers work. But for example, if they're selling their property for $300,000 and you find out their mortgage balance is only $100,000, well, that's a $200,000 gap. So in that situation, it's going to be a hybrid. And what you're going to do is subject to the mortgage, and then you're going to sell or finance their equity over time.
Right. Okay.
I
So
got a
could
video
you,
on it if you need to see it.
yeah, I was gonna say I definitely do need to catch up on some of the videos, but could you break down the subject to in like layman's terms? Like what exactly is like the whole subject to like or sub to type of deal? Like what is that?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Sub two is real simple. If they have a mortgage and they agree to let us subject to it, all that means is that our investor is going to service their monthly mortgage payment. So the mortgage is still going to stay in their name.
Okay.
Our investor is just going to agree to pay whatever their mortgage payment is on their behalf every single month, and then give them some money at closing to walk away.
Yeah, doesn't sound half bad. Um, okay, okay. So then my next question is, I do apologize if anybody else has questions. I
Oh,
just
I'm on here until there's no more questions. So feel
okay.
free to
All
come
right,
on in.
cool.
You're fine.
Um, So then I need to go back to the creative finance offer again. And then let me press no. Okay, so where it says estimated rent, right?
Hmm.
Um, like this number is so long. I mean, I'm just a little bit confused about that. I don't really know.
Wait, what do you mean the number's so long?
So
Underestimated rent? You mean like this one?
let me come back to the screen. Yes, like mine says, hold on.
Oh, does it have like the dollar amount and then a decimal point and then a bunch of numbers?
Yeah, so it's 2,000, I believe, and then 799. Then it has point to 0.00000
Yeah.
0.000.
So let me explain how Deal Sniper calculates its rent.
Okay.
We realized when we were building this thing that every investor has their own way of running rent. Some people like Zillow Rent, some people like Privy, some people like Redometer, some people like Home Ads, some people go directly to their local property management company and just ask. So because of that, we have Deal Sniper pulling data for this each property that you guys upload. It's pulling the rent from a bunch of different places and then kind of doing its own, I don't know the jargon for it, but it's doing its own thing in the background to give the estimated rent so it can be as close to what all these other websites are saying the rent should be. So the number is pretty accurate when it's doing that, but at the end of the day, it's a calculation.
Yeah.
So just delete everything after the decimal point. That's all.
Yeah. I mean, my brain told me that, but when I saw that, I was just like, did I do something wrong?
That's all right.
Or
Get more clarification. It's fine.
okay. I guess my last question would be, so when I was watching, I don't even remember what video it was. I was on like the third or fifth video. I know I heard someone say that you guys JV deals. What does JV stand for again? And like what is the criteria or like what requirements do I have to meet for you guys to JV with me?
So JV means joint venture, and it's just a way of saying that you're bringing the deal, we will disposition the deal for you, meaning my disposition team will use our buyers, our connections, our networks, our platforms to sell your deal. And then because of that, if we're paying my team needs to be paid. So it's a 60-40 split. You get 60%, my team gets paid 40%.
Oh, I thought I was going to get the 40 and you were going to get the 60, but I mean, hey, that works too.
No, we're not doing that. No, we're not doing that.
Okay.
The whole point, and the other thing that we do disposition wise is once we start that process, we also give you the exact same marketing material that we're using, and we tell you exactly where and how to post it. So if you find a buyer before my team does, then there's no split. You just
Yeah.
close the deal and you get the money. So we teach you how to do disposition alongside while we're backing you up closing the deal. Because the whole point of this whole thing is for you guys not to need me anymore. That's why I don't gatekeep anything.
Oh, no, we're still gonna need you. It's like, nah. Okay. So for like, so what's the requirements? Did you say like, are there any like specific properties that you guys won't work with? Because since I am like kind of fairly new, not really. I've been like doing this like, well, just wholesaling in general since like May of last year, but I'm just still new to the creative financing part. So like, what are they like? Do you guys have any specific requirements for like any properties that you will or will not work with?
Most of the SOPs and the videos that I've posted and some of the other criterias, that's what my team works off of. So a lot
Okay.
of the answers that I get to questions about balloon, cash on cash return, or entry fee percentage is based off of my disposition team and the type of deals that we move.
Right.
So as long as you stay within those parameters, you have a deal that we should be able to move. Just stay in an area that's very populated, 500,000 people or more. Make sure your numbers and percentages, your cash on cash return, your entry fee, make sure that's all right. And make sure the properties are in decent condition. I use the term dated, not broken. So it can be old, it can be dated, but if it's functional, people can live in there, people can move in with little to no work needed by the investor before they get a tenant in there, you're good to go.
So I don't know because I thought that most like investors like, we like properties that are like that need some work.
That's
We don't
cash
want to do
deals.
work. That's what?
That's cash deals. If you're doing
Cash.
cash deals, yeah, because you're selling it to someone who's a flipper. But if you're
Right.
doing creative deals, you're selling it to someone who's a buy and hold. So they want to get in for
Makes sense.
little
Yeah.
little entry fee and then start getting that cash flow.
So like would 50,000 like be too
Yeah,
high of an investment?
probably.
Oh
Well,
wow.
it depends on the property. It depends. I mean, if it's a property that's 3,000 square feet, 2,500 square feet, then maybe 50,000 isn't that big of a deal. That could be just flooring, paint, and patching a couple holes in the wall. It
Yeah.
depends on how big the house is. But
Okay.
dated and not broken, and you're probably safe.
Okay, so if there's any way, because I do want you to be able to move on, is there any way maybe that I could just send you, not email, but how would I go about sending you like the ones that I would potentially want us to JV on? Would I send it like email or just through
Or
WAP?
you just
That's what it's
DM it
called,
to me.
WAP. You said DM it to you?
Yeah, there's a disposition form in the Discord channel. You just fill it out, or you copy and paste it into a DM, fill it out, DM it to me with the contract, and I'll take a look.
Oh, okay. Oh, so at that point, I would already have
Have
to.
it under contract. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so I lied. One more question.
All right.
I think that's kind of where I'm like, not antsy, but just a little bit on the fence of like wanting to get this property under contract, only because I mean, I shouldn't be right because most contracts that, like you put it under contract, we have like what, 2.5 weeks to decide if we want to stay in or back out or whether the case may be. But I just didn't know again if that those terms were still valid for the creative financing part. But I lied. One more question. I'm sorry. Is there any way that we also can JV for cash offers, like cash offers too?
Oh
or
yeah, yeah.
only?
We'll JV anything.
Okay. All right. So yeah,
Cash
I'll just fill
deals,
out that
creative
form
deals,
and then
commercial deals. Yeah, anything but land. We're not. I would be full disclosure. We're not very good at moving land.
yeah. I would really love to move some land too. I'm not gonna lie, that'll be dope. But hopefully we'll get there one day. I don't know. But okay, I'll fill out that form. And if I have any trouble looking for that form, I'll just send you a quick message. Thank you for your time though, because you do answer questions pretty quickly in the chat. So I appreciate that.
No problem.
All right. Gonna mute myself now.
Okay. Who else has got a question? This training is going to be open forum, so I don't have anything specifically to teach you guys. I'm just here to answer your questions. Nothing? Well, shit. Kimberly, you can keep talking if you
Hey,
want.
Sean,
Oh,
I got a
what's up?
question.
What's up, Zachariah?
So, I saw in the chat that Billy, he acquired a property where it was like 6 units in an apartment building. Like, who do you talk to, or like, where are you finding multiple units to do big deals like that? How do you calculate that on the calculator?
Oh, yeah, sure. That's fine. We can go through that. So it really depends on how many doors you're talking about. If you're talking about, now, if I remember correctly, I don't think it was a 6 unit. I think it was 6 different properties in a portfolio,
Oh, I see.
because that's two totally different things. I mean, not that different, but a little bit different. So if you're doing a duplex, triplex, or a quadplex, up to 4 units in one building, then you could run your numbers using the exact same calculator like you guys always do. The only difference is you're going to figure out how much each unit rents for. Deal Sniper doesn't do that yet. If you put in a duplex or a multifamily into Deal Sniper, it's only going to give you the rent for whatever the total numbers of bedrooms and bathrooms for the whole building. It's not going to break it down per unit. So you're going to have to look that up on a different platform. We're getting that fixed. It's just not fixed yet. We're thinking like another week. So all you do, it's going to have the same taxes, the same insurance, because it's in the same building. You just need to figure out what each unit rents for, and then multiply that or add all those together. And then that's your LTR. And then the rest of your numbers, your purchase price, your seller finance amount, your down payment, that's all the same. Now, if you're talking about more than 4 units, like apartment buildings and things like that, then you want to use this tab down here, and you're going to have to get a little bit more information. Most of the time, all you need is a rent roll and P&Ls. P&L stands for profit and loss statement for the last year. If you get that and the rent roll, we can hop on a live and I can literally show you exactly how to do it step by step.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does. And I did have another question.
Go
Like,
for it.
how do you network and find people that want to sell parts of their portfolio? Like, where would you go to talk to those type of people?
That depends on where you're looking. Are you talking Deal Sniper? Are you talking on market?
Maybe on market, or I'm saying if I want to go directly to like the the seller himself,
Um,
investor, and he had like a part of his portfolio you want to get rid of, you know?
you know what? I think the best way I mean, you can't really target that. I mean, you can and you can and you can't. Let me think about this for a second. How I want to answer that question. Because you could reverse search it, but you still have to get lucky in order to get the lead through a VA. So that wouldn't work. And if you're going through something like Investor Lift, chances are those are all going through a wholesaler already. So then you'll be daisy chaining the deal. Same thing with like Facebook groups and things like that. You know what? I think what you're going to have to, what I would do, here, I'll tell you this. I can't tell you what I would do. I'll tell you how I come across most of those portfolios. And I don't know how Billy got his. You'll have to talk to him. But if from what I know about the way Billy is marketing, it's going to be the exact same way that I'm about to tell you right now. Just confirm it with him. But the most portfolio deals that me and my team come across are through VA leads.
What does
cold calling.
VA stand for exactly? The veteran agency?
No, virtual assistant.
Oh,
So
virtual assistant.
a
Okay.
cold caller.
Okay.
And the reason why we get the majority of them through a cold caller, if I had to guess, is because we're casting a very wide net. And the chances that we're going to call someone when we're pulling a list of 5,000 people for our cold callers to call at 300 dials a day, they're going to come across people who own multiple properties and want to sell. And if I remember the way Billy markets, I believe he also has a cold caller, and I'm willing to bet 90% that's where he got that portfolio deal from. Or he got lucky on Deal Sniper and happened to reach out to someone who had multiple properties listed. But I don't think that's what happened.
Okay. Makes sense, though. Thanks for answering my question.
No worries. Ithaca, what's up?
Hey Sean, how you doing?
Fantastic.
So good. I also wanted to commend you on your customer service voice. I have been listening to your videos and I'm just like, this man is so super positive. Like, how do I do that? How do I emulate that? So I've been
You have to
practicing.
understand that you won the lottery already.
Okay.
Well, think about it. And I'm not going to articulate this as, and I'm not trying to go off on a tangent. I am going to get to your question, but just to answer the first one, why am I so positive? We all, anyone on this call, anyone alive right now or that's ever been alive won the lottery, because the amount of people that will ever be alive has nowhere near as close to the amount of people that could be alive. So if you're alive right now or have ever been alive, you've already won the game. You're here. You get to experience all that. And every day is a new experience. So enjoy it.
Okay. I like that. So the virtual assistant thing. I'm actually Shakole. I logged in on my other device. So the other day when we were talking,
Oh
and I
yeah.
told you, I'm taking advantage of this week because I have this week off.
Mm-hmm.
So next
Your
week when I
teacher,
go,
right?
mm-hmm.
Yep, I remember.
So next week when I go back to school, I'm just like, how can I keep this momentum going? And when you mentioned like the VA leads thing, that okay, maybe I can do that. So I can't do it at the scale that you guys are doing it, obviously, but do you have any advice for, any type of strategy that I could use where I'm pulling in resources to help me while I'm at work so that when I get off work, I can pick up from wherever AI or an actual human cold caller has left off, so I can keep this thing going.
Well, I will tell you this. Good VAs tend to be expensive. Now, that's cold calling VAs. That's different than just a virtual assistant who's going to send out emails for you. The more, how do I want to say this? So most virtual assistants are not from the United States. So a lot of times, because of the pay ratio in other countries where VAs are more prominent, they have a very heavy accent. And the more of an accent they have, the more people in the United States are not open to those types of cold calls. And then a lot of times you'll pay more money for people who have no accent. So if you're looking for someone to cold call for you on off market properties, my recommendation is don't do that. Because if you're worried about how much time you're going to have using Deal Sniper, which is supposed to be very low impact to your schedule, having VAs is going to be, I mean, they pull in 1 to 2 leads a day that you've got to jump on within 24 hours. So that's going to be very stressful. Now, if you're talking about hiring a VA to send letters for you during the day, like emails through Deal Sniper, you don't have to get one that's very expensive because they're never going to be on the phone with anyone. They're just sending out emails for you. So it'll be a little bit more cost effective. But at the same time, I know this is going to sound like, oh, well, it's easy for you to say you're not a teacher. I'm not a teacher. But if it were me, I would save the money and just spend an hour a day every night even if it's right before bed, and just send out 20 offers. That's what I would do, especially to start. Close a couple of deals first, then you can justify hiring a VA, and then you can set that process up. But in the beginning, there's really no reason no reason based off what I've heard that, I mean, it should only take you about 2 to 3 minutes per offer that you're sending out when we're looking for 20. So maybe an hour, and then you can save the money. But it's entirely up to you. But that's my recommendation.
Okay, cool. I'm definitely trying to get my time down to 2 to 3 minutes. I'm averaging about, I would say, a good 5, sometimes 6 if I can't find the realtor.
Email address.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sometimes that's a little tough. Are you Googling the name and the agency that they work for at the same time?
No, I'm doing the name and the number.
Do the name and the company that they work for, Google those together, and usually within the first 2 to 3 search results that come up will be their profile, and if they have their email address listed, it will definitely be there.
Okay. All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Who's next? Who else has got a question? Oh, did somebody type a question? Nope. What's up, Zena?
My question is, when I get the realtors who kind of do not know what seller financing is, what is the best way to explain it to them? Like, not seeming that I'm trying to make them look
shady.
Yeah.
So the way that I like to explain seller financing in particular to real estate agents is I like to make it very simple. So it's like this. Zena, here's the thing. Seller financing is a lot like when you go buy a car, right? What do you do when the last time you buy a car? You go to the dealership, you pick out the car, you negotiate your monthly payment, you negotiate your terms, you negotiate your down payment, and then once everything is paid off, you get the title. It's the exact same thing with this house. Instead of me going to a bank, I'm having my investors come through me to go through you and have your seller be the bank. So I'm negotiating my down payment and my terms with your seller or with you. And then once the house is paid off, the seller gets the deed. Well, that's more of a wrap instead of a seller finance, because the buyer does get the deed at closing, put in their name. But yeah, you say something along the line. You kind of have to, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful, you just got to dumb it down. And you tell a story that's just related to the situation. What we found is that the car story is kind of the best one.
Okay.
Because most people can relate to or have at least engaged in buying a car from a dealership. And then you explain to them that, hey, here's why we have to do it this way. Because the investors that I work with that hire me to find these properties, they don't want to flip them. They want to buy and hold. They need to be able to cash flow. They don't want to go to a bank and get an interest rate where it's going to cut into their cash flow, because then it doesn't make any sense for them to buy it. But if I can get this property under contract for these terms or very close to it, I know for a fact out of all the buyers I work with, there's at least 4 or 5 of them that would be chomping at the bit to get this deal. Once I've identified which one of them wants to close, I'll submit their EMD, I'll submit their proof of funds, and we can get this thing closed and everybody paid. Give me 2 weeks.
Sean, can you repeat that car analogy again, please?
The car analogy? Yeah. So what do you do? Wait, you want the whole thing or you want the gist of it? Like you want the script version or the gist of it?
What you just said, like just the top, 45 seconds.
Okay. So it's a lot like buying a car from a dealership. What do you do when you buy a car from a dealership? Go to the dealership, you pick the car that you want, you go inside, you negotiate your terms, you negotiate your monthly payment, your down payment, and once you make those payments and you pay the property or the car off, you get the title. It's the exact same thing with a house. I'm negotiating my monthly payments with your seller. I'm negotiating my down payment with your seller. Once we come to terms, I start making those payments. Once the payments are made, your seller walks away, they're good to go. That help?
Yes, thank you.
No problem. Zena, did that answer your question?
Yeah, it does. I just wasn't sure if if I need to explain to them when it goes like when it comes time, like they ask, like sometimes they'll ask, oh, do I have to go in detail about the escrow? It goes into a certain account every month, like I don't.
No, you don't. If they ask how the servicing of the monthly payment goes, which that's a pretty rare question, even from a real estate agent, then you can explain that part to them.
Okay.
But basically what you're saying is, look, I'm offering you an over asking purchase price because my investors don't care about the purchase price. They're not looking to flip this property. They're looking to cash flow it. So we don't care about the purchase price. So we're giving you over asking. We kind of calculated what the seller would have made money wise if there was interest on the deal. And we added that to the top of the purchase price that we offered you. That's why it's at 0% interest. We did that so the seller still gets their money. My client gets the 0% interest, which is a low monthly payment so that they can cash flow and make the deal a win-win for everybody.
Okay. I have this one agent, she's kind of questioning me about certain things, so I just didn't know because it looked like it could be a go. But she hasn't really got back to me yet. So
Well, don't push it. There's one point. Listen, the one thing that I attribute to being good at this, yes, I'm a little crazy and I've got a few personalities that kind of mesh with almost anyone. But the other bigger point of that, of why I feel like I'm good at this, is because I don't care. I just don't care. If I don't get this deal, I'll get the next one. And if I don't get the next one, I'll get the one after that. It'll work out. I'm not worried about it. So because of that, I don't have commission breath. I don't sound thirsty at all. I am damn near trying to disqualify people because I'm kind of lazy. I don't want to talk on the phone to you. So let me just find a way to get off the phone real quick. That's part of my takeaway method. When I start doing that and I start pulling away, it's the old cliche. People want what they can't have. Well, wait a minute. I didn't say the deal doesn't work. You don't have to. I just wanted to understand the terms a little bit so I can explain it to my seller. That's how the conversation usually goes.
Okay.
Cool. Jose, what's up, dude?
Hey, Sean, how's it going, man?
Fantastic. How about yourself?
Great, man. It's good to talk to y'all. Hey, I got an agent that, well, she's not hesitant about it. She kind of knows seller financing, but her sellers are kind of iffy about it. So
Okay.
their biggest thing is that they got a tenant right now, but she's about to go month to month in May, and they just don't want to interrupt her or anything like that. You know what I mean? But my question was, what, what can I do to not convince them, but kind of like make them feel better? That their biggest thing is that they don't want whoever buys it to default on the property.
Oh, gotcha. So they're more concerned. Well, here's the thing. We can't control,
Yeah.
and I'm telling you this. We don't know if the buyer's going to default on the property. I've literally, in all the seller financing and creative deals I've done, I've never had a deed in lieu trigger. Not yet. We have one that's close, but it looks like the investors finally doing what they're supposed to be doing. They caught it right at the deadline. So we can't control that. But what we can do is make sure that we make the process as easy as possible if it does come to that, and give the seller some reassurance. That's why we put the deed in lieu clause in the contract. And that basically says, and you can show this to them. They'll see it. It'll be in the contracts when they sign it, especially if you use mine. It literally says in there, if the buyer defaults on the payment, doesn't make the payment, they have a grace period of 5 days, because all payments are due on the 1st. They have a grace period of 5 days before there's a late fee. If they don't make the payment within the first 2 weeks, so the hierarchy would be they missed the payment on the 1st, 5 days later, now we're 6 days in. They still haven't made the payment, now they get a late fee. Once we hit 2 weeks, the deed in lieu kicks in, and it's in our assignment contract as well. So the buyers who buy our properties, they sign off on that. So if you guys want to use it, it's in the Discord. Take a copy. They sign off on everything I'm about to say. So the property, after 2 weeks, the deed in lieu process starts. The property is deeded back into the seller's name. The buyer can't do a damn thing about it. No foreclosure, no arbitration, no fighting it, no nothing. They surrender their rights to do that. Any money that's been given to the seller via down payment or monthly payments, the seller gets to keep. Any upgrades done to the property, the seller gets to keep. And if there's a tenant in the property, which there probably will be, that tenant and the lease now belong to the seller. That monthly payment that's coming in every month and the deposit. And after the deed in lieu is completed, the very next day, that seller can turn around and sell that property again if they want to. That's the reassurance. And there's literally nothing the buyer can do about it.
That's what I kind of told them. I told them, when they go in, they're going to fix the property. So if they ever get they says you ever get hit by a bus or get abducted by an alien, you're going to get the house back with all the upgrades.
Absolutely.
So,
and they can also demand to have the house put back to its original condition. And guess what? The buyer has to pay for that. So it really gives that's why that's never really happened. Anytime a buyer's like, oh crap, I don't think I'm going to be able to keep this house, they just sell it. They sell it at a loss on their end, pay the sellers off what they owe them, the balance, and then they walk away.
And another thing, so I was running the numbers, and I'll send them to you later on when I get a chance. The cash flow on it with that deal, what is that deal thing that you got? I don't know what it's called or whatever, but they're cash flowing about $100, right? I know it's really low, but the thing is, their rent is $800, but for the area, I think they can get about easily $900 to $1,000. You know what I mean? And the monthly payment would be $800.
Okay, so what you're saying is the deal that you're talking about, once you put all the numbers in, the rent versus the monthly payment generated by Deal Sniper or what the seller agreed to.
Yeah, so what they're paying right now, they're only paying $800. But for the area, it's downtown. It's close. It's really close to downtown, and they I'm more than I'm more than sure that they can get either $900 to $1,100 in rent. They can up the rent. Basically, what I'm saying. So
did you run this through Deal Sniper?
Yeah, I did.
What does Deal Sniper say the rent is?
So I think it was like $1,200.
Okay. So then so when you did you ever put it into this calculator that's on the screen right now? Oh shit! No, don't. Yeah. Not if you're driving.
No, you're good. Yeah, but I did that. That's what I'm saying. I'll send you the numbers later.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to see it.
Yeah. So for the area, the area's pretty, fixed up and everything. They're gonna go about $1,400. But as the way it sits right now, I think they can get about $1,000. And the monthly payment right now is $800. And that's what they want for rent. Basically that's what they get for rent, and that's what they want as a monthly payment.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, you're gonna have to send me the numbers. I gotta see if there's something entered incorrectly that's giving that low of cash flow, because $100 a year is the cash flow. That's
no. It's $1,000 something. It's $1,000 something for the yearly.
Oh, okay. So then it's less than $100 a month.
Yeah. So, but I think it was like $88.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to see it.
Yeah.
Because the one thing that I don't want you guys to ever do is make a deal fit the mold if it doesn't, because you're just wasting your time and everybody else's. I'd much rather just be the guy that always shoots your deals down if they don't work, rather than say, oh yeah. Now I do have the other mantra that I always go by. If there's even a 1% chance you can move it, go for it. But that's with deals that fit the mold, but just on the low end, not deals that don't fit at all. So yeah, send it to me, and we can take a look at it.
Okay, I'll send it to you later on.
That works.
Perfect. Thank you, man.
No problem. All right, who else has got a question? Going once? Going twice? Jenna, did you have another question, or is your hand still up? You're muted. Kimberly, what's going on?
Hey, I think Jose put his hand up before me, but I'm not sure.
No, I just answered Jose.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. I literally just came back.
Okay.
But yeah, so I was looking at the chart again, and I think my last, well, I don't know if that's going to be my last question. Let me not say that. But I see here that the seller finance amount is like, it's like 20,000, like less than the actual like purchase price. So how exactly did the sniper come up with that offer? Like, and how can I explain that best to the realtor?
I don't know. Let's look at it. Don't give me the address, but give me the numbers for the deal and we'll take a look.
So the purchase price is, I think I said before, 384,000, $890, but the seller finance amount is about $357,947. So that's like what,
You didn't clean up
a
your.
cheaper?
What's the down payment?
Well, without my assignment fee, right?
Yeah.
$26,942.
Okay. And what will the price went for? What's the estimated rent?
2,799.
Okay. And the taxes and insurance?
Taxes and insurance. Sorry, I wanted to come back to the screen to look at what you're doing. The taxes come up to about $3,138.06. And
Okay.
the insurance is $1,470.
Okay. And what is Deal Sniper we should give them monthly?
$1,203.66.
Okay. All right. So, and what did they originally have it listed for?
1 second. I think her original asking price, 399,000, but let me just double check.
No, it had to have been less than that because Deal Sniper would have offered more.
Yeah, let me double check really fast.
Okay.
Oh, 349,900. My apologies.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. So, yeah. So, what did you mean that the seller finance amount is lower than what they had it originally listed for? No, it's not.
So no, because where it says purchase price,
Mhm.
384,000, and then I see the seller amount where it dropped down to 357. So I was just trying to figure out where that
The difference came from?
You said what?
Where the difference came from?
Yeah,
The down payment.
the down payment.
Yeah, if you add this and this together, you'll get that.
Okay, so I think that's why I was a little confused when you said to put my assignment fee on there after the fact, because I don't know. I think I just maybe saw I can't even remember his name. Chris. I think I like looked at his video too fast, and I think I saw that you were supposed to put it on. I mean, we are supposed to put it on there, but after the fact.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's kind of where my confusion came in from. But I mean, I will say that I do like the creative finance approach. Like, I like this method a little bit more. It is a little confusing, but obviously it's only confusing because I'm still getting used to it. But yeah, that was pretty much my question. I was just trying to figure out where that difference came from, because I just didn't want to like you said, like not tell the realtor stuff ahead of time or sooner than later.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always better. Just be honest. Work with people that want to work with you the way that you work.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Okay. So I'm sorry. You said where do I find that form again? The disposition form. You said it's on
It's in Discord.
Discord.
And if you go
And
on
then
the left side,
so truth be told, I already have like a method that I use. The crazy part is I was making my own contracts and they were working for a long time. But I know that you guys said that you have templates already. So where do I find that? Because that'll just make my life so much easier, especially because, you know, I'm like closing more deals. So I don't have time to be drawing up more contracts like every day.
Okay, show off.
No, I'm not trying to
They're
show
in
off.
Discord on. They're in
Go,
Discord on.
girl.
You said they're all in the Discord,
Yeah, bottom left.
bottom left.
Each
Okay, where it says
contract.
forms, right?
Oh.
Forms and docs.
Yep. Well, no, below that.
Below that, disposition, contracts.
Yeah,
Okay.
cash and seller finance contracts. Contracts are subject to an hybrid assignment fee, and JV contracts are in there. They're all in there. The only thing that I haven't added in there are the wrap contracts or the land deal contracts.
Okay, great. Yeah, that when I say that makes my life so much easier, because I think that's what was also slowing me down when I first got started. Like I was making all of the contracts from scratch. I mean, it was a little fun, just because that's pretty much what I got my undergraduate degree in. But yeah, and it's not fun anymore. So
There you go.
yeah, but okay, thank you so much.
No problem. All right, who's next? Who else has got a question?
Hey, Sean, I got another one.
What's up, dude?
Hey, so since these are zero interest, could these deals be wrapped?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
how does that work a little bit more? I kind of got a gist, but I'm still learning. So
Or I could buy them from you.
Or that's always a thing too.
yeah.
Now, are you, when you say can they be put on a wrap? I want to, just to make sure I'm clear, put on a wrap with you buying them or selling it to an investor still? Because there's no need to. There's really no need to put it on a wrap if it's already like a seller finance deal. Like, what are you wrapping on top? Unless you want to start collecting monthly payments from the buyer as well.
Yeah.
For me, I usually just like to take the assignment fee and be done.
Got you. Okay. Got you.
If you've got
So-
a wrap is more, I mean, you can do it on a seller finance, but it's more common on like a subject to
Okay.
when there's a mortgage already in place. Because if you're getting a seller finance deal that's not 0% interest, but then again, you got to consider what's your exit strategy. What's the point of wrapping it if you already have it under a seller finance? Because you're dictating the terms at that point. So just make the terms whatever you want them to be right then and there.
Good. So what about if I'm buying them?
So if you're buying it, then same situation, unless there's a mortgage with a better interest rate, then just negotiate the terms that you want and take the deal down yourself. You don't have to pay the assignment fee. You just pay the buyer you pay the seller the down payment. You sign the paperwork yourself, and now you've got a rental.
Gotcha. Okay. See, man, that sounds fun.
It is. It's a lot of fun. It's like playing Monopoly, but in real life.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Did that answer your question?
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
No problem. Anybody else? I'm not going to do the going once, going twice thing again. That was lame. All right.
Hey,
Then
Sean, I got a question.
What's up, dude?
So why is it so hard to move land? Why is there not that many buyers for the land? And what type of people are buying land?
Oh, land is a very, or can be a very profitable niche for wholesaling. The reason why we're not good at land is we just never had the opportunity to work a lot of land deals. And by the time we got dug in and all of our processes set, we didn't have any land buyers. We were focused primarily on actual structures. We actually have more commercial property buyers, and I'm not talking about residential. I'm talking about, industrial parks and things like that. We've got more buyers for those than we have for lands. We just never had the opportunity in the beginning to develop and cultivate a land buyers list, and because of that, we never did. And then now we're so ingrained in everything else, we don't have the time to include it.
So if you were going about dispositioning some land yourself, like where would you go to find it? Just go on Facebook, search up land buyers, maybe.
Yeah,
I
you
imagine?
can do the. I don't know if you saw the video that I did on step-by-step how to dispo online, but yeah, whatever process you would do for a normal property, you can do that exact same property or exact same situation for land. So Facebook
Sean, can I
Marketplace,
chime in real quick?
groups. Yeah, what's up, Chris?
No, I just want to say like Dispo land is LandGlide.
Oh, really? I've never heard of that. What's that?
So LandGlide is basically like shows you the land of like everyone that owns. So what I do is I would put the address of the property you're trying to dispo, and then look around and see who else owns land in that area. And just remember, anything that's in an LLC, they're typically your buyers. So what I do is, and on LandGlide, it shows you their mailing address. So you skip trace their mailing address and you call them up and say, hey, listen, I know you own this property over here. I wanted to see, are you still buying more land in the area? Just like that.
Okay.
Nice.
Thanks for answering my
See?
question, man. I'm gonna look that up. LandGlide.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, LandGlide.
So anytime you guys
Just
have
put it in the chat.
land questions,
Appreciate it.
you guys hit up Chris. Stop.
Yeah, and if you
bugging me
guys,
for
I
land.
mean, with any, even on creative deals, also, if you guys need help, like just write to me in the chat. I can help out whichever way I can. Sean, you're doing amazing, bro.
No problem. That's the way
Hey
they
guys,
built me.
I'm in Houston. I got land buyers if anybody's selling. So y'all definitely let me know. We can work together.
You know
Jose, I
what?
got a sub 2 in Houston, bro. Let's connect. That I'm
Let's
trying
do
to
it. Come on.
You know what? Maybe I should start. We have a buyers channel in the Discord. Maybe we should start a wholesaler buyers channel where, you know, we're not the actual buyers, but we have connections, and we can just drop where we have connections at. That way, everyone knows who to hit up once they get a deal under contract in that area. Yeah, I'll have that set up by Monday.
Yeah, hey Chris, hit me up.
Action. All right, who else has got a question? Okay, then I'm gonna let you guys go for the night. I will obviously be in the Discord for at least the next 5 or 6 hours. So if you guys have another question, hit me up. And if you want
Hey,
to
Sean.
schedule a
Oh, I
one-on-one,
didn't
you
mean to
guys can
interrupt
do
you.
that. Oh, that's all good. If you guys want to schedule a one-on-one, you guys can do that for tomorrow. Just shoot me a DM. What's up, Zach? Do you prefer Zach or Zachariah? And I feel like I asked you that already.
Zachariah, Zach, whatever is easiest, man. I don't mind.
I like Zachariah.
Yeah, I
sound
like
like-
Zachariah too, man.
What's his name from Supernatural? Anyway, go ahead. That guy was a dick, though. You're not a dick, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, man. But what I was gonna ask was, when you're negotiating with these realtors, is it a strategy that is employed to maybe rebate some like part of our assignment fee to them, so kind of build rapport and maybe have them be interested in working with us in the future since our commission's so big,
No, that's really illegal, dude. Don't do that. And plus,
Okay,
if there's a real estate agent that's even
Then,
saying, "Hey, we should do that," that's either a setup or that's a bad real estate agent to work with, and just walk away.
What
okay.
was the
I was
question?
thinking about it in my head. So I was asking if like to rebate part of my commission to the realtor,
Like give a
as a
kickback.
negotiation strategy.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you guys don't give kickbacks to real estate agents. Don't offer kickbacks to real estate agents. That is a big no-no, and that's a good way to burn a bridge. Just do right by them. Do what you say you're going to do. Be honest and upfront, and deliver on what you say, and you'll build your relationship. You don't have to bribe them.
Makes sense. Appreciate it.
No worries. All right, cool. I'm gonna let you guys go for the night. If you have any other questions, you guys can hit me up in the Discord. And if you want a copy of this recording, it'll be uploaded and available for everybody tomorrow morning. You guys have a great night. I will talk to you later.
See ya. Good night.
See ya.